did take down the cardboard foam covered ceiling decor, and we ended up putting up sort of a barn wood, and it's really lightweight. We kind of stain the ends, and we put stainless steel screws down either side, and it really looks nice. Kind of carries up to the front. Not a lot of other changes up in the bed area. We did change the mattress out. We put a hybrid foam coil mattress in, and I can leave some links for some of the things that we've done in here. And then we use a beddy, which those things are fantastic. They really work well. Just kind of zips up, fits the mattress perfectly. It's easy to pull the shams off and then get right into bed. One of the other changes we did make, and you can see the remote on the side, we did add a fantastic fan, and this one has the thermostat and the automatic sensor on it to close. We put a towel, kind of a paper towel dispenser up underneath so we can grab it when we're at the table. Makes it a lot easier. Now we're on the other side here. We do have our United States map, and then we put push pins in there for different destinations, places we've been to, national parks we're going to, and others we haven't been to yet, kind of on our go-to list. Now, I haven't really done anything else other than add a couple miscellaneous hooks here and there. Around the other side, we do have, on this side, I put a spice rack, and it allows us to put a bunch of different things in there. We have our spices and olive oil and sprays. Now, we did change out our sink, which is a big difference, and we had to actually come back in and change the plumbing on that. And what you will notice in the towel bar above it, the sink didn't have, it kind of came out of the back. The faucet came out of the back. I like the cutting board on here. It has a little dish drainer sort of at the bottom. Also protects the bottom of the sink. But right here, there used to be the faucet that was originally there. We ended up finding a matching soap dispenser, and it's fantastic. This works out really, really well. The faucet now has a sprayer on here, which is so much nicer. It works better. It definitely fits our lifestyle. The other thing is, and it really helps out, you'll notice that the plumbing, the drain's not in the center anymore. It's off to the side. NuCamp, for whatever reason, and this is a little bit messy down here, but the plumbing ran right out in the center. We were able to push it off to the side. It gave us a lot more space down here, and we keep most things in these little bins. It helps. We can, again, nothing can leak into the bottom, so if you have anything in there, anything that there's any chance of any spill or something, the containers keep it contained, but it keeps things from moving around while you're driving as well. All right, next I'm going to go up above, and I'll go ahead and open these up. And I made a lot of changes up here. They had two shelves, basically, that ran full length all the way across. What I found is that if they were to stay just the way they were, they started to droop down a little bit. I ended up putting dividers in here, and it keeps things from basically flying around inside there. It gave me extra storage, and it allowed me to kind of custom fit things in here. I also put a drawer, because there's no silverware drawer. I made my own silverware drawer with a little indentation in there, and you can see this works out fantastic, and it's on sort of a soft close drawer glides. The other side, same thing. We actually shortened the shelf, and then what I did is put a divider all the way from top to bottom, put a plate rack in there, so our plates slide out really easy, and it keeps them kind of in their place while you're traveling. At the top, we just have some miscellaneous things like lighters and scissors and stuff like that. Again, more of the plastic bins. And very quickly, I'll go ahead and go over and just show you the one modification. We changed out the camera, so the little sensor that's up here, we don't utilize that anymore. We could put the original camera back on if we wanted to. We actually have our trash can in here. It's the best spot for it. It's a large trash can, but it certainly works out a lot better. We keep our coffee pot, and in the back we have some plastic container with our bags of coffee. And I added a shelf up here. We come in, we put our shoes up there. It was dead space up above that little bar up there. I can fit 2 pairs of shoes, and my wife keeps her hiking poles up there. So one of the changes I made is I moved the inverter from outside. I added a larger 2000 watt pure sine inverter. I put it underneath this table, and I did kind of brought some custom wiring in. I ran it through a conduit down the side and then underneath the stairs here. There's still a lot of room in here, and there's plenty of room for airspace. Last but not least is the bathroom. You'll notice right in front we did add a stainless steel towel bar, and this is fantastic. It allows the towels to dry out while we're driving, and again, it closes or lets down really simply. Goes right flat up against the wall if we want to go ahead and use the commode. We do have the version with the fold down sink. And the other thing that we did add in here, and sorry for stepping into the camera, we did add a different shower head. This works so much better. It has a shut off on there. I'm not keen on the really cheap plastic hoses that are always in your way. This has a metal hose that's nice and heavy. It drapes down perfectly straight. There, like I said, there's a shut off on there. And then we also added a little caddy in here. It's stainless steel. The towel bar on the other side is also stainless steel. We put in stainless steel screws, and it's much, much better. We don't have to worry about anything rusting or leaving stains. And lastly, down here at the bottom, you'll notice that the toilet from the original has also changed. We ended up putting in a Dometic toilet in here. It's the porcelain bowl with the nice soft closed seat on it, the hard seat. Much, much better. The other one was really wobbly and it was kind of cheap and chintzy. This works out so much better. And whether you can see this or not, we do have a little runner that comes in from the door. It's kind of a spongy, it makes for a nice soft walk. The edges taper off so you don't trip on it. Okay, and out of the outside, a couple changes on the back here. I did add this buyer's box. It's an 18 by 18 by 18. And what I use it for is we store our water hose, our filter, some of the other connections in here, like our sewer connection. When we go to the dump station, I'll put a pair of gloves in there, things like that. So that's great. It's real easy to get to. Again, the sewer hose stores on the side around here in the bumper, so I can make that real quick connection. The other thing I did here on the back, because of the box being down there, I shortened the ladder. So you'll notice there's a different strap on there. I customized that, made it nice and tight, but now the ladder comes down and curves out just at the end, just above the box. So that works out a lot better. Okay, so on the back, the other thing that I did, as I mentioned, I installed a different camera. The one that came with it didn't have great resolution. I ended up adding a halo view camera. The screen is much bigger. I was able to mount it in my truck, just kind of up on top of the console above my radio. It's fantastic. The view is great. Much, much better. As I mentioned, the Halo View monitor, we actually mounted in here in our Dodge pickup. I have a 2017 Dodge dually, and we mounted it up above here. It works out perfect. I was able to use the holes that were already there, so I didn't have to really customize anything. I ended up putting some rubber mounts in there. I can easily just take the nuts off of that and convert it back to the factory original. Nobody would ever know it was there. One of the other things that we added were the stable camper mounts, and this works out, it really, really helps. Stabilizes the entire camper, doesn't move around. I also have a DC to DC connection, and you'll notice the wires that come out of here, there's kind of an Anderson plug on there. When I put the truck camper in, we make the connection to the mate that comes out of the bed of my truck. Now, for whatever reason, Cirrus put these little tiny, I have a 2022 Cirrus, they put these little tiny bumpers on here, which are absolutely useless. And they had some other rubber things on there. We took those off. I put metal corner mounts on the box itself, and then I added heavy bumpers that bolt through this cabinet here on the front. Now, I did make a change to our batteries. I took out the AGM batteries, and I did put in a set of Battleborn batteries. And as I mentioned, I put a DC to DC charger in here. So I kind of rewired everything in here. It gives us a lot more power. We also added solar to the top of the roof, and I'll show that again at the end of the video. We added 200 extra watts of solar, and we used Renogy solar panels. And as I mentioned, these mounts are so much better. You can see the kind of 45-degree. We actually have a dually truck, and you can see the dually brackets. It definitely makes it a lot more stable, a lot wider stance. Now these brackets fold up, and they store right alongside, up underneath where that little mount and hook is. And then also, because I have a dually and the width, the hooks on the front, the fast gun hooks mount in a different spot to get around the actual fender wells. Now the braces store up underneath. There's mounts up underneath here. There's one at the back, and then there's a little loop here at the front, and these poles store up underneath there, so we don't have to worry about that at all.